There's a reason why Simba is buying M1 and soon our broadband price might go down. Watch on to know why Simba is suddenly buying M1 and what it means for us, even if we are Singtel or Starhub users. So, on 11 August 2025, this news shocked the nation. Simba is buying over the telecommunications business of M1 from Keppel for $1.43 billion. However, if you have been following business news, you might not be surprised, as rumors that Keppel is looking to sell M1 to Starhub have surfaced since last year. Nothing was concrete yet back then. Now, before we can talk about why Simba want to buy M1's telecommunication business, we need to know this. Why is M1 under Keppel? For old folks like me, you'll remember that M1 is the true disruptor of the industry. Back in 1995, M1 was formed by a few companies like Keppel Communications and SPH, among others, to join the phone and paging industry. Since before that, there was only Singtel. They launched in 1997 and grew rapidly, simply because they were then the only competitor to Singtel. You probably know by now what will happen when a competitor comes in. Prices become more competitive and services got a lot better and much more creative. Case in point, Starhub entered the scene shortly after that, and uncles and aunties will remember how they introduced cable broadband. That means you'll never get disconnected while talking to a future state in MIRC. Yeah, basically, a lot of good things happened after M1 came in. M1 then held its IPO in 2002 and continued to disrupt the industry with things like prepaid cards with free incoming calls, introducing 1 Gbps, fibre optic internet plan, and whatnot. They were delisted from the stock market after Keppel and SPH bought out another big shareholder and then bought the remaining shares in 2019. Somehow, through the years, Keppel now owns M1 instead, which brings us to today lah. And you should be asking this question, is M1 losing or making money? Well, since it's a private company, they do not need to reveal their figures, but it's reported that based on just the business units that Simba is buying, these units record revenues of $806.1 million and an EBITDA of $195.4 million in the year ended April 2025. EBITDA is a measure of a company's operating profit before deducting expenses like depreciation, taxes, interest, and amortization. But with almost $200 million EBITDA, I think it's quite possible that it's profitable lah. So, why will Keppel sell then? Later I'll explain, but firstly, you need to know what Simba is. If you're looking to advertise your business in this channel, we can help you. There are guaranteed views and many big brands have trusted us. Just click on the link in the description. No lah, Simba isn't a lion that looks like a cat or some mobile virtual network operator like Circus Life. You see, before 2016, there were mainly 3 telcos: Singtel, M1 and Starhub. Now, I know you are saying things like,
hey Bodo, there are telcos like Circle Life or heck, even Virgin Mobile Singapore back in 2001 eh.
Yeah, I know, but these are known as mobile virtual network operators, whereby you can think of them as buying data from the 3 telcos and then reselling them to consumers. For example, Circus Life data is actually from M1. So, before 2016, there were only 3 main telcos that can produce the data. But it changed in 2016 after the Singapore authorities allowed a 4th telco to operate in Singapore, and TPG, an Australian telco, won the bid. They then built the infrastructure and only launched their services in 2020. I know you have probably not heard of them because 2 years later, they rebranded into Simba. And if you know them, their unique selling point is, well, at least according to what I see, it's relatively cheaper price for its data. Over in Australia, its parent company had some merger which eventually leads to Simba being under the parent company called Tuas. Yeah, I kid you not. But anyways, why was Simba buy M1? For a start, the telco industry is getting more competitive. Market watchers think telcos are facing lots of pressure due to mobile virtual network operators offering ridiculously cheap prices. I mean, when we shifted office and needed to wait for the broadband, every staff member just offered to tether their phone's data to work because mobile data is really dirt cheap nowadays. So, why would Simba buy M1? Well, for a start, note that Simba didn't buy the full M1. They just buy kind of the M1 that deals with retail customers, the mobile brand users or broadband users. They didn't buy the information and communications technology business, which also includes data centers and subsea cables, and that is growing fast. So why still buy? Is it to change all M1 shops to Simba shops so this won't happen again?
Hello, my Xiaomi vacuum cleaner is not working, can you help me fix?
Hello, this is M1
Aiya, who cares what's the name of the vacuum cleaner? It's
Well, no lah. It's unknown if M1 will change its name yet. However, Tuas say the acquisition will expand Simba's mobile position, accelerate the expansion into broadband, and provides an established enterprise platform. Now, here's the thing. Simba just has 0.9% of the broadband market share in Singapore, while M1 has 15%. With that purchase, and with Simba's plan to expand into the broadband market, this could only mean one thing. It's going to be more competitive in the broadband space. As for why Keppel sell, it's because they want to be an asset-like global asset manager and operator. Now, what's next is unknown, but any major and acquisition of this nature is subject to IMDA's approval. So for all you know, this might not go through or there's another more likely possibility Grab is going to come in and then buy as well because Grab will grab everything. Now, if you want to know why there used to be brand prepaid in Singapore, watch this. And do follow me on Instagram if you have not done so, as we have short videos there too, link in description. And thank you for spending almost 5 minutes with me. I really appreciate it and hope you learned something.